It cost us like 3 hours worth of shooting time. I had to eat that. I lost that money. I wasn't charging the client for that time. It was my screw up. What's going on, creative crew? Welcome back to day 8 of the 30-day video production challenge. Yesterday we talked about how gear does matter, but your brand loyalty does not. Today's gonna be a hard pill to swallow. It's gonna be a lot to hear for a lot of people. But today we're gonna be talking about how if you can't afford to buy 2 cameras, then you really shouldn't be buying 1, and what to do about that. Let's go ahead and hop right in. Now, what do I mean when I say if you can't afford 2, you shouldn't be buying 1? What I mean to say is that the name of the game when it comes to paid client work is redundancy. Pre-production is extremely important to know exactly what you're doing, but when you get on site, mistakes happen. Things happen. Not having a backup is awful. Not having a backup of anything, whether that be a microphone, whether that be a camera, whether that be a memory card, whether that be a light, whether that be anything on set. Things will happen. Plan for the worst. Now, I don't mean you have to go out and get a million different pieces of gear. What I do mean is when you show up to a site, you should have multiple pieces of kit. You should have 2 cameras. If you only have 1, rent another one, and you can simply add that to the billing of the client. That way you have that just in case. I'll give you an example. One day I showed up to a client's house and I had a microphone. This is when I was just at the very beginning. I was a wee video productionist. So I showed up to a set. I had 1 microphone. For some reason, that 1 microphone was not working. It cost us like 3 hours worth of shooting time. I had to eat that. I lost that money. I wasn't charging the client for that time. It was my screw up, my mistake. We got back. We managed to do the rest of the production. They still had a good time. We still had fun on set. But if I just had a second microphone, none of that would have happened. It would have been as easy as, oh, that microphone sums up with it. Go ahead and just get the other one. I'm not taking time to figure out what it is. Since that time, I now bring 2 of whatever I have to a shoot. So if I have 2 people who I need to lav and who I need to boom, I will bring 3 of each. I won't bring 4 of each. I won't go crazy and double everything, but I will have a backup just in case. Because when you get on site, you need to have redundancy. Now, this goes back to another thing that I wasn't really going to talk about in today's episode, but I'm going to bring it up briefly because it's important, because we're running video production businesses. These aren't personal expenses. These are assets, not liabilities. If you can buy something, that doesn't matter. You need to be able to afford it. Now, what's the difference between buying something and affording something? If I run a video production company and I have $3,000 sitting in a bank account, I can afford to purchase a $2,500 camera. Well, no, I can't. I can afford to buy a $2,500 camera, but that's going to put a strain on the rest of my company. That's going to put a strain on running the rest of your company. That's going to put a strain on, do you have an invoicing system that you pay for, like Honeybook, like Proposify? Do you have any type of accounting system? Do you have to pay team members? Do you have to do any of this? Just buying something is not enough when it's not personal. When it's an asset, you need to be able to afford it. And most of the time, you're not affording it with your own money. That's not how it works. You're billing the client so that you can save either the extra capital, or you're billing the client the cost of the rental with a slight markup so that you can make a profit on the back end of that. That is what business is. Making sure that you have a nice profit when you render your services in each and every category. Businesses are expecting this. That's the difference between working with just a one-on-one person who is emotionally spending money and a business who is strategically spending money. They are 2 completely different things. Trust me, you don't want to be sleeping on this. An interview shoot is literally your bread and butter. You're legitimately going to be paid $2,500 for setting up a camera or 2, setting up some basic lights, and letting a commercial client talk to the camera.